DLP supporters celebrate court victory. 17 graduate from journalism course offered by the Dominica State College, and Clear Harbor confirms that it will not be closing any of its facilities in Dominica. Hello and thanks for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Tarnia Green. Stay with us for the details of the headline stories and others after the break.
Documentaries and in-depth discussions, community walkthroughs, and Yes We Care. See it all on GIS Channel 7.
Welcome back. The House of Assembly on Friday passed a three-part act to provide for witness protection in criminal proceedings and for related matters. According to Attorney General Honorable Levi Peter, Part 1 of the Protection of Witnesses Act of 2013 deals with preliminary matters such as providing for the new act to take precedence if any conflicts were to arise between it and any other act. Part 2 of the act deals with witness anonymity. Provision was made for a court to grant witness anonymity orders, including measures of withholding witnesses' names and identifying details, removing from materials disclosed to any party to the proceedings. Furthermore, the order allows for witnesses to use pseudonyms. The witness may not be asked any questions of any specified description, which might lead to the identification of the witness. The witness's voice may also be modulated to any specified extent. The final part of the Act provides for special measures to be put in place where a witness is found eligible for assistance on the grounds of fear and distress about testifying. This part provides for evidence to be permitted via live link and in private. The court will also be authorized to permit the witness's examination through an intermediary. Attorney General Levi Peter affirmed that the process of presenting witness protection orders will be equal and in the best interest of justice.
The fairness of the trial process will be maintained. Witness anonymity orders will be available to both prosecution and the defense. In either event, no such order will be granted by a court unless the party making the application for it is able to satisfy the court that an order is not only justified in the particular circumstances of the case, but also that it is in the interest of justice that such an order should be granted.
Honorable Peter believes the Protection of Witnesses Act of 2013 to be revolutionary for the judicial system in Dominica, as he explained to the House last Friday.
Madam Speaker, it forms a critical component of the government's extensive program of legislative reform, and it is another of several pieces of legislation that will be addressed over the coming months. Madam Speaker, as I've indicated, the various clauses address by introduction measures that are intended to give witnesses a greater confidence in coming forward and in assisting prosecutions. All of those provisions, Madam Speaker, are made to enhance the likelihood of witnesses who are fearful, either because they've been intimidated or because, for good reason, they have cause to be afraid to give evidence, and perhaps without the evidence, there may not be a successful prosecution.
In other news, 17 practicing and aspiring journalists have graduated from a 6-week journalism course offered by the Dominica State College Department of Continuing Education. The participants received certificates of accomplishment at a ceremony held at the Bath State campus on Tuesday. The journalism course, which was facilitated by British journalist Paulie Patullo, exposed participants to core journalistic skills, which included various elements of news writing and editing. The course facilitator, in giving a review of the course at Tuesday's graduation ceremony, spoke to key elements that journalists must consider in the profession.
We discovered in the class the point of journalism is not to reprint press releases word by word. It is not to publish or broadcast opinion masquerading as fact. It is not to sit behind your computer waiting for stories to drop into your lap, because they don't. It is for you to go out there and knock on doors and discover the stories for yourself, and to tell the stories that other people do not want you to tell. Your readers or your viewers need to be able to trust you to present a balanced, truthful, and accurate account. These journalistic skills that I hope in part I've been able to discuss with you, investigation, accuracy, diligence, integrity, are now needed more than ever, as Dr. Peters talked about the internet and social networking. It means that everyone can be a journalist. Everyone can publish their views and have their say. So it's even more important for you, the professional, to cut through the verbiage, to cut through the claptrap and the lies, and actually apply your skills according to journalistic ethics.
President of the Dominica State College, Dr. Donald Peters, is delighted that the college was able to offer such an important program. Dr. Peters is hoping the course will prove to be useful and will assist in elevating the standards of the journalism practice in Dominica.
The role of the journalist is still very significant. They still have a role to play. And in the Caribbean, even more so, as only 12% of our population have access to higher education. It used to be 4%, which means that as people who bring news and information to the general public, we have a responsibility to be accurate, to be informative, and to challenge people's thought processes. So your challenge, my friend, is to use your new skills to enlighten, entertain, because Dominicans need to be entertained, educate your audience, and because if they don't bleed, they won't read.
Congratulatory remarks also came from Chairman of the Board of Governors, General Manager of DBS Radio, Brian Mead. As part of the ceremony, 2 participants shared their impressions about the course. For Rosie Felix, the course has given her the tools to jumpstart a journalism career. Rosie and her husband Randy are proud graduates and plan to start their own publication on health matters in a few weeks.
For those of us who are new to journalism, this course has prepared us for new employment if we so desire. Personally, the course has given us, and this time I'm referring to my husband and I, a sound foundation and a boost in confidence as we prepare to publish a health journal for public health education in a couple of weeks' time.
Meantime, practicing journalist Larry LaRocque of SAT Telecommunications, who is passionate about the profession, says he has already started to apply what he has learned from the program on the job.
Although I'm a practicing journalist, I would say that this course was very refreshing for me, although I do it on a daily basis. Seeing that I learned a lot of new techniques, especially the inverted triangle method, where you would put all the important information at the top and the less relevant information below, instead of having your viewers searching through the whole story to try to find out the most important parts. That was something I didn't used to do before, and as Miss Patulo taught us that method, I would say I'm very grateful for that, seeing that I integrate that in my work, and it proved to be something successful for me. And my boss realized that, and she would give me compliments on the improvement I've made in terms of the writing.
In more news, thousands of DLP supporters on Tuesday celebrated the victory of Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and the parliamentary representative for the La Plaine constituency, Honorable Peter Seja, their victory at the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. The supporters gathered at Lago in Roseau, where they heard from their party leader as well as other parliamentarians. GIS's Mervyn Matthew has more in this report.
I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you, Lord.
A parliamentary representative for the Cottage constituency, Honorable Reginald Austrie, singing the notes of what was on the minds of the thousands of supporters of the Dominica Labour Party who turned out on Tuesday evening in Lago in the capital city, Roseau.
In 24 hours, the Dominica Labour Party can bring 5,000 people right here in Lago, Roseau, ladies and gentlemen.
They came from near and far, donned in the bright red colors of the ruling DLP. They danced, they waved, a true picture of what they had gathered for: celebration. Tuesday's gathering came just 24 hours after the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court Monday dismissed an election petition filed by candidates of the main opposition United Workers' Party challenging the nomination of Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and Education Minister Peter Sejar to contest the 2009 general elections.
The Labour Party government is legitimately declared as the government by the courts of the Eastern Caribbean.
The dual citizenship matter was first heard in the High Court in Dominica, but High Court Judge Gutel Tom had rejected these petitions.
We continue to beat them all the time in everything.
Monday's ruling represents yet another victory for the DLP at the courts since the December 18, 2009 general elections, which the party won 18 seats to 3 against the opposition United Workers' Party.
We won based on truth. We won based on the law.
While the DLP parliamentarian welcomes the victory at the court, he remains fully aware of the realities of the current political climate.
The battle that just ended is part of a very, very long war.
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, who is also leader of the ruling DLP, commended the Lapin MP for his achievements both as parliamentary representative and Minister for Education.
This is a man who did not deserve that type of stress and public ridicule.
Honorable Sejar says, however, he will remain focused on the task at hand.
I recommit myself. I shall not go back until the job is done or until I have no breath left in me.
Prime Minister Skerrit received a resounding welcome at Tuesday's meeting. He reminded party supporters of the reason for the gathering.
We are 100% Dominicans, fully qualified, and we know a right to run for public office in this country. The
Prime Minister told the party supporters that he was reserving his personal celebrations for a later date.
I am reserving my celebration for this court victory to my victory and the victory of this great political party at the polls next time around.
The Dominica leader at Tuesday's meeting hinted early elections, an announcement which created a wave of excitement among supporters.
Get yourself ready. Labour warriors, get yourself ready. Get yourself ready for another 5 years in government.
This wave of excitement has already been filtered through the DLP parliamentarians. Granby MP Honorable Justina Charles on Tuesday made a passionate appeal to supporters.
All your children, your nieces, your nephews, all family members, begin to mobilize them and get them registered. That is what we need to do, to teach them a lesson once and for all.
For the Granby MP, there is clear evidence that the current administration has achieved much, even while awaiting the ruling of the court.
Look around the island, my people. Look around Dominica to see the source of development across the island. Every constituency has benefited.
It was a night of celebration, a night of proclamations, and while supporters will now be looking forward with anticipation to the announcement of an election date, one thing is certain: the DLP parliamentarians can rest assured that the dual citizenship matter is finally behind them.
This is over.
It is over for me. It is over for them. Praise God. God is good.
For National Focus, I am Mervyn Murphy reporting.
Oh, many thanks to Mervyn for that report. In other news, Dominicans experiencing hearing difficulties and would benefit from hearing aids are the direct targets of the Rotary Club of Dominica's second annual Hearing Mission, which kicked off on Monday. The Hearing Mission team of 7, including 3 audiologists from the Centers of Hearing Care and the members of the Rotary Club of Boardman, Ohio, arrived on island last weekend. The first clinic saw 62 persons receiving much-needed attention at the Portsmouth Health Center, while 2 more clinics took place at the Roseau Health Center on Tuesday and on Wednesday morning. Donations of at least $50 were invited from the public towards the purchase of 3 audiometers to assist in the screening process, especially in the school health program. According to the Rotary Club, proceeds from last year's hearing mission went to the expenses associated with training a technician in the maintenance of hearing aids. The hearing mission, mainly sponsored by the Ross University School of Medicine, is expected to be an annual event. The mission provides hearing aids which cost about $3,000 at little cost to the hearing impaired. The next session is planned for the Marigot Health Center.
And the residents of the Shawford community will not have to wait much longer to benefit from a reliable source of water from the Wasco. A water project which commenced there a few months ago is expected to be officially commissioned soon. Public Relations Officer of the water company, Edward Regist, says with pipeline works almost complete, the project should be ready within the next few weeks.
That project was supposed to have been completed in December. However, there were a number of delays which has brought it to a point where we estimate that the project could be completed in the next several weeks. Pipeline works continue from Trafalgar onto Shawford. Of course, the water is being tapped from the Trafalgar water system to be brought to Shawford. So soon enough, that community could benefit from a new water supply system from the Wasco. Of course, the storage tank has been completed, the access route to the storage tank completed, and the pipeline works are also progressing steadily. And we want to commend the people of Shawford for having cooperated quite well with the Wasco in ensuring that we can bring this project to fruition. And we look forward to commissioning that project very soon.
We are also happy to report that a water project in Benz is also progressing satisfactorily, and we'll bring you an update on that project in Thursday's newscast.
And Clear Harbor, a United States-based call center operating in Dominica, on Tuesday announced that it is going through a major shift in its client base. The company announced that it has attracted new clients and refuted claims that it intends to shut down operations on the island. In a press announcement issued late Tuesday, the company said it is going through a transition period and as such reducing the concentration of employees assigned to one client. This transition period will affect employees. However, this is nothing new, as every spring the company experiences a reduction in its workforce due to lower call volume coming from its U.S. clients. Further, approximately 25 employees leave the company on a monthly basis as a result of migrations, new job opportunities, or dismissals. However, the new shift will allow for a diversification of its labor force that will not be dependent on a single client. It also states, due to the excellent reviews and reputation which the Dominica Call Center has received, has allowed them to attract 4 new programs and 3 new companies who wish to conduct business with them. But these will begin with a testing period. If we perform well and maintain strong attendance levels, each new program will grow. In fact, if 3 or 4 of the new programs are successful over the remainder of this year, we could be at an employment level greater than we are today, the release stated. The company has stated categorically that during the transition, Clear Harbor will not be closing any facilities in Dominica. In fact, the company is currently working with Aid Bank to complete its 4th building on the island, hopefully to house new growth and from the success of these pilot programs. The company, which currently employs over 600 Dominicans, said it is committed to keeping all employees informed during this transition period and will attempt to impact a minimum number of employees during this transition period. Clear Harbor has been operating on the island for the past 7 years. And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en Creole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, plusieurs mille Dominicains assemblés en ville Roseau hier soir pour grand rallye pour un support pour Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt et ministre d'éducation Honorable Peter Saint-Jean qui tapé qu'est-ce qui opposition te fait plainte au compte yo tapé quoi jeté de war par grand l'audience Kawaïb. Plusieurs ministres gouvernement délivré parole en support et puis coordonné bien fort action opposition qu'a essayé de détruire réputation gouvernement Skerritt. Ces ministres-là qui a ses supporters Labour Party pour disassocier Ayo et puis vieux parole UWP qu'a essayé à ce gouvernement-là. Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt qui a ces monde pour préparer Ayo puis yo pas gens savent et de UWP gaspiller 3 années et puis propagande qui pas une pièce fondation mais gouvernement là mérite 5 années encore pour remplacer ça qui pas nécessaire et de Dominica Labour Party qui aller pour grande victoire toutes 21 sites les l'autre élection là que crié. En la nouvelle compagnie d'Owasco qui continue et puis plusieurs projets de l'eau en pays là. Il y a un projet qui a continué ce projet de l'eau en Chaufford. Monsieur Edward Regist, c'est officier relations publiques pour compagnie d'Owasco.
D'Owasco a managé différents projets pour faire nous mener l'eau dans Dominicien tout le pays. Avec nous des 3 projets qui ont continué tout à présent, qu'on nous a parlé. Nous avons un grand projet, nous presque fini en communauté Chaufford, en petite commune tout pour Trafalgar là, avec comme ça, il n'y a pas de jamais glo avant Hot Dawasco. Avec nous trouver l'argent pour nous faire un projet pour tuer glo, bah mon Chaufford, avec projet ça a été supposé finir en mois de décembre, mais nous tapé des difficultés. Avec à présent, nous avons regardé si nous avons fini le projet de 3 semaines qui a fini. Mais tout à présent, nous avons couru pipe avec sa presse finie. Nous avons bâti tank là, grand storage tank là qui est supposé pour tuer l'eau. Avec nous avons fait un pile travail pour faire certain que nous avons fini le projet ça dans les 3 semaines qui a fini.
State College Dominic conduit course pour journalistes en Dominique. Augmenter manière yo ka fait travail ailleurs. Valuation pour ces participants-là prend place mardi en l'occasion State College Dominic en Lacoudouin. Quand même si le directeur d'éducation State College Dominic Merrill Matthew, yo conduit course là mettez journalistes assis au niveau état et puis médias international.
Dominican State College mettez course en place pour lever quality journalist Dominic, pour montrer une nouvelle technique, pour montrer une nouvelle manière neuve, pour comment ça fait travailler en Dominique. Comme ça, les quality travail élevés. Tout le monde Dominique, que ça, oui messieurs, yo pour ça yo ka fait et puis nous que taper on l'eau jeté en ça yo ka fait.
Finalement, compagnie Seaborne Airlines qui a fait parole, qui yo ka baissé puis voile avion à yo Dominique pour San Juan, Puerto Rico, avant yo actuellement commencé faire business en Dominique. Compagnie là annoncé qui yo ka baissé puis hors le 17 pour le 30 mars l'année là. Directeur la place compagnie là Mike Ritzi fait parole que public là ça acheté billet entre temps salam mais il pas obligatoire yo voyager en mois de mars. Et des gens ça acheté billet en mois de mars et puis servi jusqu'en décembre l'année là. Ritzi fait parole que cadeau ça c'est seulement une fois il ka prend place. Compagnie là ka ou fait billet pour 100 avec 16 US ou 200 avec 32 ici pour voyager pour payer San Juan. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour Nouvelle Creole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Au revoir.
Thanks, McPherson. When we come back, we'll tell you one way by which you can improve the quality of your life. Quality of life is a person's state of physical, economic, social, emotional, and environmental well-being, including the ability to function in the ordinary task of living. It represents the degree to which a person enjoys the important possibilities of life.
Cultivate optimism. Optimism increases job performance, creativity, ability to weather stress, self-esteem. In the quest for the good life, positive expectations can be self-fulfilling, and cultivating your ability to be optimistic is beneficial to your health and your success.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Tarnia Green.
And I'm Jarna Hector. Thanks so much for watching.
I want me to your presence.